Hello, Caitlin here. I'm gonna explain to you pure elementals, combos, strategies, and well, the deck that I use in Arena. I'm currently gold 2. I used elementals to fight my way up from silver to gold 2, and I'm almost to gold 1. So before you even waste your time with this video, just know that pure elementals, what I'm going to explain is after the rotation and the cards that'll probably be used with elementals. And also, you should know that elementals are going to cost quite a bit to play. If you want to play something cheaper, I look into mono black vampires, because those are going to be a really good kind of archetype for a deck. And I promise you on that, I'll make a video for mono black vampires after this. But getting into pure elementals, I would just let you know at first it's blue, green, and red. And because of Yarick and the combo it can have with Raisin Reef, there's probably going to be blue, green, black elementals as well, but I don't think that's going to be as good. The combo is basically Raisin Reef will trigger twice if you have Yarick on the field. And we'll start with one of my favorite combos, which uses we'll start with my favorite combo, which uses Chandra, the Alkylite of Flame, with Overgrowth Elemental. Overgrowth Elemental, when it comes to the field, it puts a 1/1 onto one of your elemental creatures. And when one of your elemental creatures leaves the field, you get to put a 1/1 counter on Overgrowth Elemental. So the combo is basically you use Chandra, Alkylite of the Flame, and you make two 1/1 counters. And at the end of the turn, the two 1/1 counters, or the two 1/1 elementals, will disappear, and you will get two 1/1 counters on Overgrowth Elemental. So that's a really neat combo. I suggest using 3 of each. I mean, that's been working for me pretty well in Arena, using 3 Overgrowth Elementals with 3 Chandra Alkylites of Flame. And I say that mainly because you're going to want to invest in having red. And the other thing I want to talk about before I get into more combos is the expense of the deck. The deck is going to need steam vents, it's going to need breeding pools, it's going to need stopping grounds. And if you can't afford to have 4 of each, then I suggest not playing elementals, especially because you're going to need cards like $5 cards like Chandra Alkylite of the Flame, and you're also going to need to use Omnif, Locust of the Royal, which is this card right here. What this card does is when it enters the field, depending on how many elemental cards you have, it does damage equal to how many elemental cards. So say you have 3 elemental monster creatures on the field, and you summon this, it'll count itself, so you could deal 4 damage to either to any target, Planeswalker, their life, or one of their creatures. And when you play a land, you get to put a 1/1 counter on any creature, even itself if you wish to. And also, if you have 8 or more lands, when you play another land, you get the draw card. And a way of playing good with the deck would be to, you could use Chandra, make sure to use her effect first to get the 2/1/1 elemental tokens before summoning Omnif. I hope I'm saying that right. Just so you can get the extra 2 damage into like their life or one of their creatures, that's if it's really big. I'll also talk about how Raisin Reef is basically the main card of the deck. This card will basically ensure that you have not only field advantage with mana and creatures, but also hand advantage. It is proven by, well, not just me, but other people who've made videos on elementals, that this card will give you creature, mana, and hand advantage. Just because of how many times it can trigger. This card combos with a whole bunch of the elemental cards, but it does combo with Acolyte of the Flame. That's why I'm pushing this card on you guys, that to pick up to use with elementals, because you make the 2/1/1 elemental tokens. Well, this card, even if they're token elementals, you still get the trigger effect, which is to look at the top card, and if it's a land, you put it on the field. Otherwise, it goes right to your hand. And another cool thing is, you don't reveal the card. So you could choose to put the land into your hand, or you could choose to put the land onto the field. You don't have to reveal that, just so you know. And another thing to know is, if you reveal a Steam Vents, Stomping Grounds, or Breeding Pool, well, you can pay 2, so that card comes into play untapped. For basic lands and scry lands, those will always come into play tapped no matter what. But with Steam Vents, Breeding Pool, and Stomping Grounds, you can pay 2 to make it come into play untapped. So just keep that in mind, because that's very important. It could come in handy to know. Raisin Reef also combos really well with, let me find it here. This guy right here. Stampering Scorcher. Stampering Scorcher, when he comes to the field, he creates 2/1/1 elemental tokens. So that'll trigger Raisin Reef to go off 3 times, giving you either 3 cards on the field, 3 cards to hand, or a mixture of 1 and 2, 2 and 1, which is how you get advantage. Another cool thing to know is, say you have 2 Raisin Reefs on the field. Well, you have one on the field and then you summon this one. Both of them are going to trigger. That's going to give you +2 right there. And then say you use this guy and you get the 2 elemental tokens. That's going to give you +6 right there. Okay? Say you have 2 on the field and you play Acolyte of the Flame. You're going to get +4 right there. Pretty cool, right? Because both of them were triggered at the same time. Now, I'm gonna go through some cards and tell you like my opinion of them. These are from the new. This is strictly from the new set M20. And the reason I'm not going into the like Temur elementals and just talking about pure elementals is because of rotation being next month. I mean, like Living Twister is going to be gone. Those green planeswalkers are going to be gone. you're going to be wanting to use probably what I suggest you should use in your pure elemental decks, because, well, I hate to say it, but I think the Hydrid Crisis isn't the best way to play the elemental deck. Not with this new format coming up. Like, mono black is very fucking powerful. Esper is gonna be pretty much dead. Gruul is gonna be really good. Like, Gruul is just Gruul or mono green. That's gonna be really good. Red's gonna take a little bit of a hit, but not too big of a hit. The reason I say Gruul is gonna be good is because it's like Ceratops and the Hydras that came out in the new set, like Gorgias and Voracious. Anyways, back to the elementals. Like I said, you'd want to use Overgrowth Elemental, just because it's really good. You'd want to use a number of Scampering Elemental or Scampering Scorchers. You'd want to use I don't have a visual of this, but you want to use Creeping Trailblazer, because it's a 2-drop. It's a green red, and it gives +1/0 to all your elementals, and it does something else I forget. Let me see here. For 4, you can give +1 until the end of the turn for each elemental creature you have on the field, so it boosts itself up, and which could be potentially be a lot, or not that much, depending on how the game's going. There's Cavalier of the Thorns. Like, this is like a big $20 card now. Like, this deck is already hell of expensive. If you want to put this in, like, I suggest getting them for sideboarding, because you really don't need this card. Like, the reason I say sideboard is because, like, there's going to be, like, flying, there's always flying that's just a bitch, because it just sneak attacks you. So just use this card for getting rid of air. Like, it's really not that great. I mean, there's other combos. Like, there's Thunderkin Awakening. Now, this guy right here, you can swing with him, and what he does is he'll bring back, like, Scampering Scorcher, and then he'll bring back 2 tokens, and then you'll trigger Raisin Reef if you have him on the field. And that's every time this attack, so you don't have to attack with Scorcher, and you can keep chump blocking with him, and then keep attacking with him, bring him out, bring more tokens, chump block, bring him out, attack, bring him out, chump block. You get the gist. Cards that you shouldn't play in elementals are cards like this one, Vor's Claw. It's elemental, 7-drop, 7/7, or 6-drop, 7/7, trash. Do not play that card. If you want to play a 6-drop, play Chandra Awakened Inferno. Chandra Awakened Inferno, I highly suggest running 2 of those cards. I do not have one of those myself. I'm looking to pick up 2. So, if you want to trade me or something, send it to me. I'm willing to take it off your hands. But Chandra Awakened Inferno, it does, for -3, it'll do 3 damage to all non-elemental creatures. So it could board wipe like crazy. It could board wipe everything except for elemental creatures. That's why it's really good in pure elementals. And I think pure elementals is the best way to go with elementals. A card that is also, I thought, was really decent, but it turned out you could use like better cards. there's Frostlinks. Like, if you're on a budget, I get it. Frostlinks is alright to use. What it does is it taps down a creature, and it does mean your opponent's creature won't untap during their next untap phase. So it allows you to like get sneak attack and or stop an attack, like either or. Another card at first that I thought was like really baller, because I thought if you didn't get Raisin Reef in your hand, you're like fucked. Well, would be Cloudkin Seer, because when it comes to the field, you draw a card, but like I ended up cutting that card down to like 1 or 2 in my deck, just because what I noticed with the deck is you want removal instead of just having all these different creatures. You want Lava Coil. You want to run, like, in my opinion, 4 of those fuckers. You want to run Lava Coil, and you want to run, what's that one card? Shock. Because Shock is going to get rid of those nasty little creatures that are like I'm thinking of like the future matchups, but even now Shock is just good. Just gets rid of small little threats that can become bigger and bigger, or like small threats that are like part of combos. Same with Lava Coil. There's also Lightning Strike, but there's like that's going to be rotated out, so I'm not going to even suggest that. I would say just put 4 Shocks and 4 Lava Coils. You'll be Gucci with having your elementals to like survive against aggro. There's Leafkin Druids now. Depending on like what big cards you're gonna use, I personally don't see the reason to use any big cards for pure elementals, just because of how quick all the small cards can just pound face, and how big like Overgrowth Elemental gets with like how much damage and how much you can grow with Omnith, Locust of the Royal. I don't see the need for these, but they're useful if you're using bigger cards. Like I hope you're not going to use the Voice Claw, but if you are on a budget, then yeah, if you're using bigger creatures, then Leaf Kindred is the way to go. If you're using like Voice Claw, but like I hope you don't have to use that card. Another card I hope you don't have to use is Air Elemental. Hope you don't have to use this. Another card is Boreal Elemental. Hope you don't have to use this. Another card I hope you don't have to use is Fire Elemental. And another card that probably will be in mono red decks, or like grill decks, because it's pretty damn good in my opinion, is Scorch Spitter, but not in pure elementals. You don't need it. You rather just get your combo pieces up with removal. And since you're running blue, there is also counter spells. Like I personally use Convolute, because I'm only using cards that are going to be in rotation right now. Otherwise, there's like Syncopate, Mana Pierce, stuff like that in rotation currently. A really good card that I advise to use, because I'm pushing that you use Chandra, Alkaloid of the Flame, and Chandra's Awakened Inferno. And if you really want to go all out with Chandra, you would also use Chandra Novice Pyromancer. But Chandra's Embercat. Now what this does is it'll tap for an elemental creature, giving you another mana for it, or it's just a 2-drop, and it could help trigger Raisin Reef And just because it's small, it can help you get advantage. Or it could hit for 2, or it could chump block and get rid of like something coming at you if you're going against aggro again. Like, and it also you could tap it to play one of the Chandras. And let's see, honorable mentions, I guess. There's Lightning Stormkin. It has Flying and Haste 2/2. Again, you really don't need this card, but it's decent. Card, like, if you're on a budget, I would definitely say use this card. Another elemental card that I say would be don't use is Cavalier of the Flame. It's just the last effect. It just doesn't fucking matter. It says it deals X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control, where X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. I mean, unless you're using Scape Shift, like, what the fuck? Like, this card is just irrelevant. Like, it'd be trash to use it just to get +1 to creatures and to draw cards and then discard that many. Like, sure, but like, it's just, in my opinion, it doesn't do anything. I mean, plus it's 3 red, and you might not always have the red, and that's what my reasoning for not using this card, this Wake Root Elemental. It's a 5/5, 4/6. The reason I'm saying don't use it because its effect costs 5 green. Now I know you're using like dual lands, you know, like Stomping Grounds and Breeding Pools, but like, you need 5 fucking green to make one of the lands a 5/5. So it's just, no. If you're playing on a budget too, and you don't want to go out and do Stomping Grounds and Breeding Pools and Steam Vents, then a good replacement for that is these ones that give you like +1 life, like Swift Water Cliffs, because when they come in from Raisin Reef, like, you'll get +1 life. Thornwood Falls, Rugged Highlands. That's just good, just for replacement in case you don't want to get, or you don't have all the different kind of lands that you want for the deck. What I do advise running, and these are cheap, Temple of Epiphany, or Epiphany, okay. And then Temple of Mystery, because these are scry lands, and they're dual, so red green or red blue scry, and then blue green scry. I personally run the 4 of each of the Shocklands, and couple Temple of Epiphanies with a couple Temple of Mysteries, and like 3 of each just basic land, just because like I don't want to have a land come in tapped. I want to be able to play a land on my 3rd turn that doesn't come in tapped, and then use Raisin Reef so I can start getting my combos off right away. Or if you don't open Raisin Reef, that's why I suggest Chandra Alkaloids of Flame, because of how good it goes with Elemental Overgrowth Elemental. This combo is just really good. Or you just have or if you just have like one of one, like, it's just you're not always going to open Raisin Reef, and you need other ways of playing your opponent, which would be the why I suggest having 4 lava coils and 4 shocks with the combos that I suggested. There's also a good sideboard card, Aether Gust. That's going to be good in lots of sideboards, because Gruul is going to be a pain in the dick when rotation finally comes. And same with vampires with a mono black is going to be a pain in the dick as well. So hope I given you good information, and I hope it helps you out with your pure elemental deck if you're going to run pure, or if you're going to run budget or maybe non-budget. But I hope I've given you some ways of, like, technically I'm only giving you 3 combos. Probably should have just shortened down this video. Probably should have. But, like, fuck it. I did it already. So, just gonna upload it. You guys can be the judge. I'll try and make my videos shorter, more to the point. I probably shouldn't have went into cards you shouldn't use. I should have just said what combos you should use and left it at that, because if I didn't say it, then it's probably irrelevant. Well, anyways, take care and have a good day.